What is up, guys? It's Seth from Wired Customs, and today we have kind of an interesting video. Usually I don't shoot in this format, but what I'm trying to show is actually on my computer. It has a failed component. So let's find out what's happening. I spent a really good portion of time trying to reinstall some files that I previously deleted to try and recreate the problem I was having, because originally, I found out what was wrong and I said screw it, and I just did away with a bunch of stuff. And so I decided it would actually be a good video topic, because what I'm experiencing is pretty uncommon. I feel like, at least I've never dealt with it, and I don't really know anyone personally who has. So let's get into it. I started experiencing this problem last week when I was trying to play a game. So we're gonna load up Paladins. It's pretty well optimized. Okay, well, I'm gonna skip to the part where I'm already logged in. Okay, so here we are. I'm logged in, and I have Afterburner running right here. I do have the in-game overlay enabled, so you'll be able to see what my GPU is doing, you'll be able to see what my CPU is doing, you'll be able to see the temps, RAM usage, everything. So let's go ahead and load this game up and see what is happening or not happening.
I am the flame.
15 seconds remaining.
What the hell? This is a new map.
I am vengeance.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And so it begins.
Okay, so my frames are already starting to drop.
Prepare for
Things
battle.
are already not going well. Yeah, I'm just gonna play for a bit like normal. Man, I really love this map. Wow, this is cool.
An enemy has
Good
drawn
stuff.
first blood.
Good stuff, guys. This update is amazing. What does this do? What is this? I don't know. I'm not currently holding the frames I should, though. Watch what happens when I enable VC. Also, I'm not hitting max frames. And look at my GPU usage. It's only at 35%.
Enemy
if frames are
killing
dropping,
spree.
it should. I mean, I guess at least it's running at 1974, but it's still not running it where it should be at all. Options.
Enemy double kill. Enemy killing spree.
VC. There we go. Enabled. Oh,
Enemy killing
it thinks
spree.
my refresh is 60, which is wrong. That's super wrong. It's supposed to be at 100. This game is kind of buggy like that sometimes. Why can't I never find? There we go. Disable that. Okay. Anyways,
Enemy killing spree.
it's being weird. The frame rates are lower than they should be. And
Enemy rampage. Enemy double kill.
It's not even using all of my GPU, and it's not maxing this out. This game is very well optimized. So,
Enemy rampage. An enemy is unstoppable.
we are going to skip to me getting out of this. I am downloading the user benchmark test. Here we go. Okay, and here are the results. Oh no, I got 0% on everything. Why is my CPU doing so bad? I wonder if my BIOS got reset or something. benchmark was incomplete. Why is that at 1,021? Okay, so that's weird. That's a little concerning. Okay, so I didn't even take the GPU. Alright. Okay, so this benchmark clearly showed that we have an issue somewhere, because this should complete, it should give you valid percentages, and it should somewhat accurately tell you how each of your components are performing, but this was unable to finish the test. So we're going to close out of that, and we are going to run this. So I think my M drive might be being weird. So I'm going to do a 2 gig file. We're going to do 1 pass just for time's sake, otherwise it takes a while. And let's see what kind of numbers it puts down. Put that back on there just to show you guys that it's reading so slow. Well, at least it should have been that it wasn't actually even able to use the GPU properly. That's what it was doing last week. Last week it was benching about 30 read and I think about 60 write. I tried physically copying a file. It was a video file. It was about 4 gigabytes, and it would bounce between 1 megabyte per second and 100. It should be writing a consistent 200, which it's showing here on the benchmark for whatever reason. I don't know why it's benching right for you guys now. Maybe it's acting right because it doesn't have anything on it anymore. I don't know. But I can hear this grind at startup. I do hear grinding when I turn the computer on. It's not a good sound. It kind of sounds like air in a water pump, sort of. A little bit like that. It's not good. And no, it's not my AIO. I hear where it's coming from. The AIO and the hard drive are in 2 very different spots. So yep, it looks like these are the results, which are pretty much on par with what it's capable of. I'm going to assume that's because there's nothing on it. So we are going to put my new 2 terabyte SSD on there. I got a new MX500 2.5 inch SSD. So I'm going to shut the computer off. I'm going to pull it out, and then we're going to put the SSD in there, and then we're going to compare and see how it runs afterwards. So I get everything back together, I fire up the computer, and I go into Disk Manager, and what do you know, the new SSD isn't showing up. Go into BIOS, still not showing up, do disk part, list disk, still not showing up. At this point, I'm thinking I got an SSD that was dead on arrival, but no, that is not the case. This is what happened. So, is there a way I can flip this around? Oops, that was a picture. Okay, well, this guy right here, I had to take him apart. So I noticed that the SATA data cable wasn't plugged in all the way. It was sitting out a little bit. I tried to push it in just a little bit, wiggle it into place, and I hear this tiny pop. And I think, what could that have possibly been? So I take it apart and I find out the little retention bracket holding those input clips in place is popped off. My brand new SSD. So we have this little guy, and that's supposed to be held in place. See how that separates? Because that separates, my data cable will not lock in place how it is supposed to. So I have to say, Crucial, I am pretty disappointed. Not happy with getting an SSD right from you guys and then having something stupid like that happen. So now I have to glue it back into place after taking it apart, after figuring out what is wrong with it. I have to wait for the glue to dry and then hope to reinstall it and hope that it shows up in disk part. So, not a good day. Okay, so after lots of trouble dealing with Crucial's faulty SSD case, I guess, I got everything back together. It's in the PC. The data cable isn't exactly locked in, but it's in there tight enough to where I don't think it'll be an issue. I got the drive formatted and everything seems to be acting right. Installing games on that was so much easier than that old failing drive. Everything was just a lot faster, obviously, and way more cooperative. There weren't any hitches or anything to deal with. Everything went smooth. So I'm gonna go ahead and bench this on Crystal Disk Mark. The M drive is obviously my 2 terabyte Crucial MX500, and we will see what kind of speeds it gets. It should be pretty comparable to my Samsung 860 EVO. Pretty much just maxing out SATA speeds, SATA 6. No, I'm sorry, SATA 3, 6 gigabits per second. So it's doing pretty good, exponentially better speeds than last time. Almost triple. And I noticed playing Paladins, even though it's pretty much the same frame rate, it just seemed smoother. It seemed like it played a lot better. Maybe that's all in my head. Maybe that's me trying to justify $300 on this SSD. I don't know. Let's load up Steam. We're going to play a round of Paladins. Why does it always make me... Alright, here we go. Trade District. Yeah, buddy. So this is a different map. Not exactly apples to apples, but I'm not imagining the difference will be significant. Hopefully not. I'm gonna feel like an idiot if it is. I figured most maps
30 seconds remaining.
Are pretty comparable.
15 seconds remaining.
I am.
Yeah, look at that.
10, 9,
Right up there.
8,
Oh, 174.
7, 6,
We'll
5,
see.
4, 3.
I'm getting
2,
like a solid 30 frames
1.
more than I was.
The battle has begun.
My frames are
Prepare
way
for
higher.
battle.
I'm not holding at 175, which is annoying. 'Cause yeah, look at that. GPU usage is really low. But that grinding sound is gone when I start up my PC. So I know that was the drive. I know the drive was on the way.
An enemy has drawn first
Test
blood.
makes me seem kind of crazy.
Stay blessed.
It's throttling up about the same. I feel like my frame rates are a lot higher than they were. It's still dipping down to the 130s, but Okay, so it may not have seemed through these tests that Firacuda drive was failing, but I'm 99% sure it was. It was grinding. It was very reluctant to cooperate. At one point when I was writing files, it was bouncing between 5 megabytes a second and like 5 kilobytes a second. Some things just wouldn't install on the drive at all, and I heard grinding sounds coming from it. These benchmarks were kind of inconclusive. Maybe the drive wasn't failing, maybe it just performed that poorly, but I was pretty irritated when it benchmarked the way it did. Last week, I swear on my life, it was reading 70 and I think it was writing like 40. It was bad. It was very bad. So today you saw how we benchmark a hard drive. You saw how we fixed an SSD that broke that shouldn't have, how to replace it, and how I figured out that the drive was failing. So hopefully you got something out of this. I won't hold it against you if you didn't, but these are real world problems. These are real things that happen. This was not a very controlled environment, and if you're a PC builder like me, these are some of the things you have to deal with, some quirks that aren't always consistent. So stay away from Seagate and have a good one. Like, subscribe, and follow facebook.com/wiredcustomscapel. Thank you.